Hi guys, it's time to give you some different content. Today we're going to break down what the return on investment is like in Bronze League and Splinterlands and see how long it will take you to get the return on investment back from having a maxed out Chaos Legion set. So let's do the breakdown and get into it. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more play to earn content. So let's get into the factors that we used in our return on investment plan. We basically wanted to only have the Chaos Legion and Riftwatcher cards because we feel that F1 should have slowly accumulated some of the Soulbound cards and should definitely have the reward cards that they want at the right level. So we didn't want to have them be a part of the plan. And we also wanted each card to be at the max level for bronze because we wanted as many options for the rule types that we have. And we also wanted to get in as many return on investment ways that we could get. So obviously we got the ranked mode and tournaments. And with ranked mode we got two ways of doing it. We've got the end of seasons and the dailies. So we also got to remember that RNG played a factor there. But we had 2 points of entry. We had a top player that was getting number 1 in everything and an average player that was just doing well. But as I said before, RNG does play a factor in everything with chess and your SPS that you get in them, and you never know what will happen with the soulbound cards down the line. And the parts come down to if the player opens packs or if they don't, so that might have an individual value for themselves or not. So that we had to obviously make the pots have value in our equation because we were using tools to give us the values of the dailies and stuff like that. But let's get into the actual facts and numbers. So when it came to working out the earnings from ranked mode, we basically looked at the end of seasons chest and the daily chest. And we grabbed a player who's at the top of Bronze leaderboard and a player who's around the 100th because that was the closest we could get to in the leaderboard. And we basically did it across a month because it's easier to calculate with the end of seasons being twice a month and obviously the dailies being dailies. So it's easier to do all the math and have everything go across. So if you're playing at a low level in ranked and you only get around 10 to 14 chests daily, you'll be making around $1 a day, which ain't too bad. But at a higher level, if you get around 16 to 20 chests, you will be getting just over $9, which is a lot better and it'll be a lot easier to get your return on investment daily. But from doing this research, it seems that getting your dailies is a lot better compared to your end of seasons because the daily RNG in the chest is a lot better than an RNG twice a month. I don't know why, but it just seems a lot more better in calculating. But at the end of season, if you're getting around 50 to 60 chests, you'll be getting about 8 cents, which is a bit weird if you compare it to the daily chest where you're getting a bit more in the value. But that's what I mean, where it's this weird factor where maybe with the daily chest there's more chance of you getting SPS, whereas in the end of season, due to the way how bronze chests are, you might end up getting more potions or soulbound cards, which don't really have a value yet, but the return on investment can change at any point if Splinterlands decide to turn on the soulbound cards being transferable. But at a high level, if you do get around 70 to 80 chests, you will be getting around 22 cents, which is a lot better. But again, if you're comparing making dollars in your daily and only getting cents in your end of seasons, it don't really make sense. But I guess in your mind, you're getting a lot more soulbound cards at the end of season, so it'll be easier to progress and probably get more daily chests the next season going forward. But for me, the return on investment in your dailies is definitely a lot better compared to your end of seasons. But like I said previously, if Splinterlands decide to make the soulbound cards transferable, you'll be getting a lot more money for your dailies and stuff like that, and you can kind of see the soulbound cards are kind of like a savings that may possibly give you some more return on investment down the line. But let's get into another area of earning, which is tournaments. In tournaments, most times you only have 3 tournaments you can do per the rank. And in our working out for the earnings, we basically had it worked out from the high positions and the low positions. So then we had a range of how much you could really earn through tournaments monthly And yeah, we did make it across a month, so if there's 3 tournaments a week, you can estimate that it would be 12 tournaments a month. But at the same time, you have to do well. But if you place in the lowest placements in tournaments, you will be getting around 60 cents and up, depending on where you place. But depending on the cost of the tournament, you could really be only breaking even. So you really do need to try hard if you're fighting in low tournaments. Tournaments don't really seem worth it if you're not doing very well. But if you do place in high-end tournaments, over the course of a month you can make around $12 or below. But $12 is definitely the maximum earning, because in our working out we did it with if you got number 1 and below. So, but it does show that you really do need to place really high-end tournaments to get any sort of that returns, because the entry fee does play a factor in it all. But SPS, that's the real reason why the earnings go up or down, because if the SPS value goes up, your earnings will definitely go up more. But depending on how SPS wants to structure the tournaments with the entry fees and what placement you need to be for what type of earnings you get in SPS, it could all change down the line. And if SPS skyrockets, the earning for tournaments are going to be so good, but at the same time the entry may go up as well. So that may be a factor. But tournaments is definitely a side way of you getting some earnings outside the rank mode. But so we have to put that into our findings, because when it comes to return on investment, you want to try and get as many flows of investment you can get back. Now, we said previously, the cards we're going to be trying to get a return on investment back on will be the Chaos Legion cards and the Rift Watcher ones. And we want them all to be at bronze level. And for that to happen, with the Chaos Legion cards, it will cost you $371. And if you wanted the Rift Watcher cards at bronze level, it will cost you $269, which is a lot of money, because in total that's $640 for the full Chaos Legion set, getting yourself ready for modern when the Untamed cards go into wild. And that's a lot of money, so you best be trying to get as much daily chests and end of season chests and place as high as you can in tournaments, because as you saw previously, the amount of money you get back in Bronze League ain't a lot, and considering how much money it would take you to actually play, it's quite a lot of money to ask for. So if you're in Bronze League, it's going to be very tough for you, if I'm really honest with you, so you best be doing as best you can. With all that information and numbers said, let's compile it into a little bit of easier information to digest. But if you're playing at a high level and we take into account your end of seasons, your dailies, and you're placing high-end tournaments, you can earn up to around $21 a month, which is kinda okay, but if you compare it to how much the cards cost, it will take around 57 months to really get your return on investment, which is around 4 years, and that's kind of a long time to be playing one game. But it could change at any point depending on what any updates that Splinterlands want to do. But if you compare it to low level, where you're placing low in tournaments and you're not getting as many chests in your end of season and daily, you're getting around $2 a month. And if you work into how much the cards cost, it's going to take you nearly 700 months to pay everything off, which is 58 years. So your children's going to be playing to get your return on investment if you're playing at a low level at bronze. So for me, in my mind, bronze is... Splinterlands really did try to combat Bronze League and it being a farm, and they've definitely done it where you need to play very high to get any sort of returns from the cards. And it's quite funny to actually see the numbers placed out like that, because 58 years to play a game, that's mad. But let's get into the conclusion of everything. So in conclusion, is it worth playing in Bronze League? Not really. You really do have to play at a very high level to get any type of returns. And if you're in the game for any type of earnings and not just to play the game for fun, Bronze is not going to be for you. And for me, Splinterlands was talking about changing Bronze League so people will feel more inclined to level up and go into that silver and on. They've definitely done that very well, because unless you're in like the top 1 or 5% in the game in Bronze League, you're not going to see anything, because you really do need to place really high in tournaments, and considering how many people will be entering or how many accounts will be entering, it'll be really impossible to try and get in the top 5%. So for me, it would definitely be better to rank up, because a lot of players use Bronze League cards in silver and up. So you can definitely play in a higher rank compared to what your cards are, and it'll definitely be a lot more beneficial for you for trying to get any type of better returns in that. Because silver is definitely going to be a lot better to bronze. Because Splinterlands tried to combat bronze and they didn't say nothing about silver. So you definitely want to try and play up and maybe focus more on your end of seasons and do your daily chests over playing in tournaments, because if you try and play up, you suddenly can't play in the bronze tournaments anymore, and trying to use bronze cards in silver tournaments might not go as well. So for me, you definitely want to go up in your rank mode, but it was sacrifice in tournament mode. For me, I'd rank up as soon as possible, but earnings in Splinterlands could change with any updates Splinterlands wants to do, and obviously if the soulbound cards end up becoming transferable, that means you have a little bit of savings on your account just waiting to cash out. But it really comes down to SPS price, soulbound cards, and how good you are at the game. But that is what the earnings are like in Bronze League, and we're definitely going to look at silver and up and see where the perfect sweet spot is for the return on investment within Splinterlands. But if you like this video, like the video and subscribe for more play to earn content, and we'll see you next time.